Hello, a Rosie math teacher coming at you today from my first period class, Accelerated 7th grade math. We are looking at item number 1 for tonight's homework. All of these items ask us to solve each system of equation by graphing, and then it asks you to please check the solution. Now let's review quickly. Do you remember that a solution is an ordered pair that always comes in this order, x comma y, and it is an ordered pair that works beautifully in both equations. In other words, the x value works in place of the x for the first equation and for the x in the second equation. The y works for the first equation and for the second equation, and they both have the same solution. Do we understand that so far? Okay, great. Just wanted to review that. Now, you're going to check and figure out what it is by graphing. Yesterday, you got to choose from 3 different options, didn't you? And now today, your brain is probably going, how the heck do I know which one it's going to be? I don't have options. No worries, I got you. All right now, looking at both equations, I want everyone in this room to please circle the y-intercept. And then look up at the screen to see if you remembered that the y-intercept is always the constant in the equation. Wave at me if you did correctly circle plus 4 minus 2. All right. Before we do anything else, I want you to go ahead and plot 4 on the y-intercept. What type of 4? Positive or negative? Positive. So up from point of origin, and we count how many spaces? 1, 2, 3, 4. I will plot the y-intercept. Do not plot the other one yet. I don't want you getting them mixed up. Now, in place of x, I will give you a hint. The first value you want to try, when they give you some random equation and they say, now graph this, a lot of kids look at it and go, oh, I have no idea what to do next. At least try this. Try out a 1, a positive 1 in place of the x. So class, write a positive 1 in place of that first x. Now to find the value of y, what shall I do? Add what? Please read it to me. 1 plus 4. What does 1 plus 4 equal? 5. Please write a 5 in place of your y. Do nothing else with that yet. This is just your guideline to plot an ordered pair for the first equation that when connected to the y-intercept we already drew, will give you a straight line. Are you with me? Okay, so remembering that your ordered pair always goes in this order, x comma y. Carefully answer my question, Naya. What is the x value for that first equation? I am glad she said 1 and not 5. Great job. Class, write 1, comma, and then tell us, Kelsey, what amount shall we write for the y value? We wrote the y value on top of the y. Can you read to me the number we wrote on top of the y in that first equation? 5 is correct. Thank you, ma'am. Class, has everybody written 1 comma 5? Now plot 1 comma 5. I start at point of origin and I head which way for my 1? 1 space to the right. That's not where I plot the point though. Now I head what direction for 5 spaces? Up. Count as I go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Place your plotted point, erase your guiding lines. Please create as straight of a line as possible to connect your dots. Once you connect and line up on your app, once you line up those 2 dots, will all of the other parts of the arrow fall into place? Yes. So you will end up with an arrow that looks something like this. What do you think we want to do with that second equation? Something new and different or the same process? Excellent. The same process. So now I want you to remember earlier we circled the y-intercept. Refresh my memory. What was it on the second equation, Milo? What was the y-intercept? We circled it in red earlier. -2. So class, what will you now plot? -2. Start at point of origin. Go which direction for 2 spaces? Down 2 spaces. 1, 2. Please plot that point. Please erase your helper line. Now that you have plotted the y-intercept, let's go ahead and in place of the x, what do I always recommend that you try first? What do I always recommend that you try first, guys? 1. So please put a 1 next to your +2. Has everybody put a 1 next to your +2? Oh, I'm sorry. It is -2. Thank you so much, Christopher, for pointing that out. Guys, sometimes I make a mistake. We recover, we move on. All right, now let's find out the y value. How can we find out the y value, Sean? What shall I do with everything inside my blue box?
Multiply -2.
Go ahead, tell me what happens along the way.
You multiply -2 by 1.
Good.
And then you...
What do you get?
You get, -2, I think?
Okay, when I multiply -2 times +1, any item multiplied by a +1 equals that same item. So what item, class?
-2.
-2. And then I shall take away what? Please say it if you know.
2.
Good. So what is -2 take away 2 equal to?
-4.
If you said -4, you are correct. So please write -4 on top of your y. So this time, instead of writing 1, 5, I will write 1, what? For the second part, Alea?
4.
What kind of 4, Alea?
-4.
Okay, is the negative important?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, or I'll be going the wrong direction. All right, so now I start at point of origin, and I had which direction for 1 step, guys?
To the right.
To the right, excellent. And then I had which direction for 4 steps?
Down.
Good. 1, 2, 3, 4. Plot that point, please. Erase your helper lines. Now line up your y-intercept from that second equation with your latest plotted point. Let me get the proper tools so that mine will go as straight as possible through those 2. Now you guys will have tools. Let me see if I can make it go a little bit closer to true. There, that line was a little bit better. Okay, now what are we looking for? Does anyone remember from yesterday when I taught this to you, actually 2 days ago, ahead of time? What plotted point am I about to write down as the solution? I'll give you a hint. Okay, it's where the lines intersect. I can see why you said X. It's where the lines intersect. Can you put a plotted point where these lines intersect?
Yes.
All right, put it on your grid right now. Then look at my screen to see if your plotted point matches where I just put a humongous, oh, now it's just a blue circle with my cool app. Okay, does everybody have a plotted point where you see my blue circle?
Yes.
All right, now describe to me, please, how many steps will I go and in what direction along my x-axis? Please say it, class.
-2.
I'll go 2 steps to the left. And what x value shall I write?
-2.
-2. Thank you. And then how do I find the y value that I need to write? I go what direction? Up. How many steps?
2.
And so I write down what amount?
2.
And so when I have written -2, +2 to represent the ordered pair where the 2 lines of the graph intersect, I now know that this particular ordered pair, read it to me, class,
-2.
2 is indeed my solution to this system of equations. Do we understand?
Yes.
All right, you may stop.